I have discovered something that I guarantee you neglect that will take your crappy mix to a less crappy mix almost instantly. Now, as you may know, if you've tried to research how to mix, how to make good music, how to find out making your impacts harder, how to make your metal music that much more better when you record it, there's a lot of information that's gate-kept. Either people just don't talk about it or it's behind some kind of paywall. So my goal is to give you that information that I have discovered literally for free in this video, like any other video I make. Any information that I learn myself, either if I pay for it or if I figure it out on my own, I want to share it with you guys for free on a video like this so that you can learn how to make better music along with me. And this is something that I have seriously neglected over the years, and I beat myself up for not actually working on this more and more over those same years because I could be at so much of a higher level. But hindsight's always 20/20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a bit of an original piece of music that I've been working on lately with the new mechanic I'm talking about and without it, so you can hear the difference. So let's jump into that so you can get a little bit of sound playing in your ears that's other than my annoying voice. So here's the piece without the new mechanic that I'm talking about. Alright, cool, heavy stuff, right? Not my greatest mix in the world, but it's somewhat there. Now, let's improve it with this new mechanic that this whole video is about. Let's take a listen again at the better version. Right? It's still a crappy mix, but it's a less crappy mix than it was before. And so, what I have going on here is a bunch of sample sound effects that I have obviously in this section labeled production. Now, I don't know what the right term for all of this is because production is also the equipment that you use before you record, like the amps you choose, the guitars you use, the strings that you use, the preamps that you use, the microphones, all of the choices that you make for what you use to make a song is also considered production because it's what you use to produce the music. But then there's also the producer side of things that does stuff like this, adding textures and sound effects that take the song from here to here and make it more impactful and have more pull and gravitas and draw for the audience to listen to. So all of this that I have in the production section is a bunch of cinematic sounds that I bought from a place called Ghost Hack, I believe. They were having a sale going on. I got 5 or 6 different sound effects, cinematic sound effects packs for $20-30 or something. And they have a double use case for me because I obviously do filmmaking as well. So I can have that for filmmaking sound effects, and I'm trying to apply them in my music here. So I'll let you listen to just the production elements that I'm talking about here on their own a little bit so you can get an idea of what the change was that I made between the two versions of my track a little bit ago. So, right, it just sounds like trailer, epic movie sound effects that are playing in the background, right? So, Like stuff like that really makes the impact harder for those open A's that I'm playing in the chorus. Right? And obviously they're pretty low in the mix. I don't want them to be overtaking the rest of the main song, but they're adding texture and impact and like drawing people in, like those suckbacks. Right? So it just sounds like weird cinematic movie special sound effects, right? But that's what made the biggest difference, and I have not done anything special to these other than lining them up where I want them to hit and cutting them off where I want to cut them off and stuff like that, except for one element here. There's an ambient drone sound effect that wasn't in the right key or any of the notes that I was hitting for where I wanted it to go. So what I did was I loaded up an instance of Isotope Iris 2, which I've heard some people say doesn't exist anymore, so that's unfortunate. I really love this thing, but if you have any kind of sampler, you could load this same sound effect in there and do the same thing. I just loaded it in here, didn't mess with any settings at all for it, except I think I cut off the beginning of the sound effect so that it would hit more impactful right up front. The only thing that I did was give it a note to hit on so that I could put it in key with the song. So that's all that I did. I just lined them up where I wanted them to hit, used them strategically in the timeline, and then just put one of the sounds into a sampler so that I could change the pitch of it. And obviously I could do that with all of these, but some of them were already a note that I could use, and I just drag and dropped it, bam, right in here. And I'm not really doing anything special to the group of them at all. I just have some compression on some EQ special effects going on here, like a dynamic EQ. This one is free, so TDR Nova, I believe. Yep, TDR Nova by Tokyo Dawn Labs. Go get it. I just have it set up to sidechain with the rest of the mix so that when stuff is hitting, it's cutting out a lot of that low end of what these impacts can have so that the bass in my mix isn't too overpowering. So it's when it's on its own, it's fine, but when the other mix and everything's hitting, especially the bass guitar and the kick drum, it's cutting some of the low frequencies out of all of the elements that I added in. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, this goes right to my mix bus. Bam, it's done, and it is what it is. I did relative levels, threw them where I wanted to throw them, changed up the sounds throughout the song, like in parts that repeat, like specifically here. The impact, I believe, is what changed. Let me see. I just want to make sure that's what changed. No, I think this is what changed. Riser to thud, did I change? Yeah, so I added a couple different sounds to different sections just to change up and make it somewhat different. Other than that, it's just a bunch of cinematic sounds. And again, I know this is maybe some crazy information. Maybe I'm doing this completely wrong, but I feel like it took my mix to another level. Obviously, it's still not a great mix in general, but it took it from like here to here. And this is something that I just never really focused on with my music production whatsoever. And I feel like maybe electronic music and pop music and maybe even more hip-hop rap stuff kind of focus on the sample side a lot. But I gotta say, I'm liking what this is doing to my music, and you can do the same thing. You don't have to go to this company. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to get some of these same sounds, but there's a lot of free cinematic sound packs out there that you can get from probably even this company. They probably have some little packs they can throw at you for free, and do this same kind of thing, or make your own. I've done that before where I've taken and recorded a guitar chord, reverse the audio and cut off the initial hit so that it just, instead of going, it goes, and then you hit, kind of like some of these suckback sounds are, like these riser things, but with a guitar. And sometimes that works really, really well. And even cymbals, doing that with a cymbal, hit a cymbal really hard, have it trail off, reverse it, cut off the initial impact, it'll go bam, and then hit. Lots of fun stuff to do, but this was just an experiment, and I think I'm going to start doing it a lot more from now on. So if there's any aspect to what I'm doing here that you know that you would like to share with me to learn, and everybody else watching this video, leave it down in the comments. If you have any questions specifically for me, leave it down in the comments. Otherwise, use this information as you will. Use it with a grain of salt, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about most of the time, but I'm just trying to share things that I discover myself. And let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video with some awesome new music.